The world doesn't owe you respect just because you exist. You can be the nicest person in the room, the hardest worker, the most qualified, and still get treated like you're invisible. Why? Because you're teaching people how to treat you every single day. And most of you don't even realize you're doing it. Today, I want to talk to you about something that changed everything for me. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about demanding attention. It's about understanding one simple truth that most people never grasp. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. I spent years watching people walk all over me in meetings. My ideas got ignored in relationships. My boundaries got crushed. I'd bend over backwards for everyone, thinking that's what good people do. And you know what I got in return? Nothing. Less than nothing, actually. I got resentment and exhaustion. Then one day I was observing a negotiation, two businessmen, same experience, same qualifications. But one commanded the room while the other practically apologized for breathing. Same skills, completely different outcomes. That's when it hit me like a truck. Respect isn't given, it's claimed. Not through aggression or ego, but through how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you respond when someone crosses a line. The world is constantly testing you, watching you, taking notes on what you'll tolerate. Here's the core truth: self-respect isn't selfish. It's a signal that tells everyone around you exactly what you're worth. And when that signal is weak or confused, people treat you accordingly. Let me break this down for you, because once you understand this, everything changes. Let's get real for a second. Some of you watching this right now are exhausted, not physically, emotionally. You're tired of being overlooked, tired of people taking advantage of your kindness, tired of giving everything you've got and getting crumbs in return. And here's what makes it worse. You can't even explain why it keeps happening. You're a good person. You work hard. You show up for people. You say yes when you should probably say no. And somehow the people who do less than you, who care less than you, who try less than you, they're getting ahead. They're getting the promotions. They're getting the respect. They're getting treated like they matter. Meanwhile, you're stuck wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you, but something is wrong with what you're doing. See, I've spent decades studying human behavior, body language, communication patterns, the subtle signals we send without even knowing it. And here's what I've discovered: people don't respond to who you are. They respond to what you project. Let me say that again because it's important. People don't respond to who you are. They respond to what you project. You could be the most talented, capable, deserving person in any room, but if your body language says, "I'm not sure I belong here," that's what people believe. If your words say, "Sorry for existing," that's how they'll treat you. If your boundaries say, "Walk all over me," guess what happens next? Some of you are probably thinking, "But Allan, I don't do that. I'm confident." Are you though? Think about the last time someone interrupted you in a meeting. What did you do? Did you calmly say, "I wasn't finished"? Or did you just let it go? Think about the last time someone made a commitment to you and broke it. Did you address it directly, or did you make excuses for them? Think about the last time someone spoke to you disrespectfully. Did you set a boundary, or did you laugh it off because you didn't want to make things awkward? I know how this feels because I've been there. Early in my career, I was the guy who just wanted everyone to like me. I'd agree with things I didn't believe. I'd laugh at jokes that weren't funny. I'd stay quiet when I had something important to say. Because what if I was wrong? What if people thought I was arrogant? You know what that got me? It got me ignored. It got me passed over. It got me surrounded by people who didn't actually respect me. They just knew I was easy to manage. And the crazy thing, I thought I was being humble. I thought I was being polite. I thought that's how good people behaved. But humility without self-respect isn't humility. It's invisibility. Here's what nobody tells you about the world. People are busy. They're distracted. They've got their own problems, their own goals, their own lives. They don't have time to dig beneath your surface and discover how amazing you really are. They take shortcuts. They make snap judgments. They look at how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you respond to pressure, and they decide in seconds whether you're someone worth paying attention to. Is that fair? No. Is that reality? Absolutely. And right now, some of you are sending signals you don't even know you're sending. You're teaching people through your posture, your voice, your tolerance for disrespect that you're not worth much. The scary part: once people form that impression, it's incredibly hard to change. They stop listening to your words because your behavior already told them everything they needed to know. This isn't about being arrogant. This isn't about thinking you're better than anyone else. This is about understanding a fundamental truth of human interaction. If you don't respect yourself, nobody else will do it for you. Nobody. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think self-respect is something you feel, like it's an emotion that shows up when your life is going well, when you've achieved enough, when you've proven yourself. That's backwards. Self-respect isn't something you feel, it's something you practice. It's something you demonstrate every single day in 1,000 small ways that add up to everything. Let me give you an analogy that changed how I think about this. Imagine you own a house, a beautiful house that you love. Now, imagine someone walks in with muddy shoes and starts tracking dirt all over your floors. What do? You stop them, right? You say, hey, shoes off at the door. You don't apologize for having that rule. You don't feel guilty about protecting your space. It's your house. You get to decide what happens inside it. Your self-respect works the same way. You are the house. Your boundaries are the door. And every day people are walking in, some with clean shoes, some with mud, some who don't even notice they're making a mess. The question is, are you protecting your floors? Or are you letting everyone track dirt wherever they want because you don't want to seem difficult? I used to think that having standards made me hard to deal with. That setting boundaries would push people away. That asking for respect was somehow rude. You know what actually pushes people away? Being so desperate for approval that you become a doormat. Because here's the thing, nobody respects a doormat. They might use it, they might appreciate that it's there, but they don't respect it. Some of you might be thinking, but Allan, I don't want to be one of those people. You know, the type aggressive, demanding, always making everything about themselves. Good, neither do I. But here's what I've learned after studying thousands of interactions. There's a massive difference between demanding respect and commanding it. Demanding respect is loud. It's aggressive. It comes from insecurity. People who demand respect are constantly telling everyone how important they are, how successful they are, how much they deserve. It's exhausting. And honestly, it doesn't work, because the more you have to demand something, the less you actually have it. Commanding respect is quiet. It's confident. It comes from genuine self-worth. People who command respect don't need to tell you they're important. You can feel it. They walk into a room and something shifts. They speak and people listen. Not because they're loud, but because they're certain. And that certainty, it's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you will and won't accept. I'll never forget this moment early in my speaking career. I was at a conference watching two different presenters handle the same situation, a heckler in the audience. The first presenter got flustered. He tried to make a joke, but you could hear the nervousness in his voice. He rushed through his material, kept glancing at the heckler, and by the end, he'd completely lost the room. The second presenter, totally different. When the heckler started up, she paused, just stopped mid-sentence, looked directly at him, didn't say a word, just held eye contact for maybe 5 seconds, which felt like an eternity. Then she said calmly, oh wait, that was it. 3 words, no anger, no defensiveness, just complete confidence that she was in control of that room. The heckler went quiet. The audience actually applauded. And she continued like nothing happened. Same situation, completely different outcomes. Why? Because one person's body language said, please like me. And the other said, I know my worth. That's the shift I'm talking about. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. And how you respond teaches everyone around you what you'll tolerate. All right, let's get practical. Because understanding this stuff is one thing, actually doing it is another. Here are the principles that changed everything for me. First, stop apologizing for existing. Listen. I'm not saying never apologize if you mess up, own it. That's integrity. But so many of you are apologizing for things that don't require apologies. Sorry to bother you, but sorry, this might be a dumb question. Sorry, I just think that maybe. Every time you start a sentence with an unnecessary apology, you're telling the other person that what you're about to say probably isn't worth hearing. You're undermining yourself before you even begin. Try this instead. Just say what you need to say. I'd like to add something. Here's my perspective. No preamble, no apology. Just direct, clear communication. I know it feels uncomfortable at first. You might worry you're being too blunt or too aggressive. You're not. You're being clear. And clear is kind both to others and to yourself. Second, let your body speak before your mouth does. This is something I've studied for decades, and it never stops amazing me how much we communicate without saying a word. Your posture, your eye contact, the way you take up space, the speed of your movements. All of these things are constantly sending messages about your confidence and your self-worth. Here's a quick test. Next time you're in a meeting or a social situation, notice how you're sitting. Are you making yourself small? Arms crossed, shoulders hunched, taking up as little space as possible. That's your body saying, I'm not sure I belong here. Now try this. Plant your feet flat on the floor. Open your shoulders. Take up the space you're entitled to. Keep your chin level, not up like you're arrogant, not down like you're defeated. Just level, like an equal. It feels weird at first, but here's what's fascinating. When you change your body language, you don't just change how others see you. You change how you see yourself. There's actual research on this. Your brain takes cues from your body, not just the other way around. So if you want to feel more confident, start by looking more confident. The feeling follows the action. Third, practice the pause. This one's powerful. When someone says something that crosses a line, when they're rude, dismissive, or disrespectful, most people react immediately. They either fire back defensively or they shrink and let it go. Neither works. Instead, try the pause. Just stop. Don't respond right away. Let the silence sit there for a beat or two. Look at the person. Let them feel the weight of what they just said, then respond calmly. Not emotionally, not defensively, just calmly. That's an interesting way to put it. I don't think that's accurate. Let's try that again with a different tone. The pause does something magical. It takes away the other person's power. They expected a reaction. They expected you to get upset or back down. When you just hold space, it throws them off balance and it puts you in control. Fourth, mean what you say and say what you mean. People who respect themselves don't make empty threats. They don't say things they don't intend to follow through on. They don't promise things they can't deliver. If you tell someone there will be consequences for crossing a boundary, there better be consequences. If you commit to something, you better do it. If you say no, you better mean no. Your word is your reputation. And every time you break it, even to yourself, you chip away at your own self-respect. This goes both ways, by the way. Don't overpromise to please people. It's better to say, I can't commit to that right now, than to say yes and then fail to deliver. The first might disappoint someone temporarily. The second destroys trust permanently. Fifth, choose your battles, but fight the ones you choose. Not everything deserves your energy. Some comments are better ignored. Some people aren't worth engaging with. Part of self-respect is knowing when to let things go. But, and this is important, when you decide something matters, you need to stand your ground completely, without wavering. The worst thing you can do is start to address something and then back down halfway through. That teaches people that your boundaries are negotiable. That if they push hard enough, you'll fold. So be selective. You don't need to fight every battle. The ones you fight, fight them all the way. Now, I want to be honest with you about something. This is hard. Everything I've just shared, it sounds simple when you hear it. Stop apologizing, stand up straight, pause before responding. Mean what you say, simple. Yes, easy. Absolutely not, because you're going to face resistance. Not just from other people, from yourself. You spent years, maybe decades, building certain patterns, ways of showing up, ways of responding, ways of making yourself smaller so others feel comfortable. Those patterns don't disappear overnight. They fight back. You'll set a boundary and immediately feel guilty. You'll pause before responding and your heart will be pounding. You'll take up space and a voice in your head will say, who do you think you are? That voice is lying to you, but it's loud and it's persistent. I remember the first time I really pushed back on someone who was treating me poorly. It was a business negotiation and the other person was being completely unreasonable. In the past, I would have caved. I would have found some way to make it work, even if it cost me. But this time I didn't. I said, this doesn't work for me. If these are your terms, we don't have a deal. And I meant it. I was ready to walk away. You know what happened? They changed the terms, not completely, but significantly, because they realized I wasn't bluffing. But here's what I remember most about that moment. It wasn't the victory. It was how uncomfortable I felt. My hands were shaking. Part of me wanted to take it back, to smooth things over, to apologize for being difficult. I didn't. And that was the real win. Because self-respect isn't about feeling confident. It's about acting with integrity even when you feel terrified. Some of you are going to try this and stumble. You're going to set a boundary and then feel so anxious that you soften it. You're going to speak up and then immediately wonder if you were too harsh. That's okay. That's normal. That's part of the process. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Every time you choose self-respect over approval, you're building a muscle. And like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. The fear doesn't go away. You just get better at acting despite it. So here's where we are. The world is watching you every day, every interaction, every moment. And it's asking one simple question: how should I treat this person? Your answer isn't in your words, it's in your posture, your boundaries, your willingness to stand for something, your refusal to Shrink. You've been given this one life, this one chance. And somewhere along the way, someone might have told you that wanting respect was selfish, that setting boundaries was unkind, that taking up space was wrong. They were wrong. Respecting yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's the foundation for everything else, for healthy relationships, for meaningful work, for genuine happiness. You cannot give from an empty cup, and you cannot lead others to respect you until you respect yourself. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding once and for all that you're done shrinking, done apologizing for your existence, done letting people treat you like you don't matter. Imagine walking into every room knowing, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing that you belong there, that your voice matters, that your boundaries are valid. Imagine the relationships you'd have, not the ones where you're constantly giving and never receiving, but real partnerships with people who see your worth because you see it first. Imagine the opportunities that would open up, because when you project confidence, people notice. They want to work with you. They want to promote you. They want to be around you. This isn't fantasy. This is available to you right now, today. But you have to choose it. You have to decide that approval is nice, but self-respect is non-negotiable. That being liked by everyone is impossible, but being respected by the right people is achievable. That temporary discomfort is worth permanent dignity. The world will never respect someone who doesn't respect themselves. So the question isn't whether you deserve respect. You do. Every person does. The question is, are you finally ready to claim it? Because the moment you are truly, completely, without apology, everything changes. And that moment can be right now.